The Manhattan, the granddaddy of many fortified wine cocktails. This classic drink has been around since the late 1800s, and since then, many spin-offs have been created. Even the classic martini calls the Manhattan daddy. So today, let's make the Manhattan, and two of his cousins you have to try if you love Manhattan. Alright, I'm going to be real with you. While I was trying to take a 30-second how to make a Manhattan video and make it interesting and a little longer, I ended up on a journey down quite the rabbit hole that made me ask the question, have we been making the Manhattan wrong this entire time? While the Manhattan is complex in flavor, it's one of the simplest drinks to make. Watch, I'll show you. Start the timer. To make a Manhattan, you only need 3 ingredients: some Angostura bitters, some good sweet vermouth, and some good rye whiskey. Take your mixing glass, add 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, 2 ounces of rye whiskey. Add your ice, stir till dilution, then strain in a chilled glass, and top off with a cherry, and you're done. Alternatively, you can use an express orange peel instead of a cherry, just in case you might be allergic to a cherry and artificial cherries, like my friend who found out the hard way when she used cherry lube the night she lost her virginity. You can alter a Manhattan many ways, like adding orange bitters, or split your vermouth between sweet and dry, and you have a perfect Manhattan, or replace the rye with scotch, and you have a Rob Roy. One of my favorite riffs, and some say better than the original, is the Black Manhattan. Created in 2005 by Todd Smith, this riff uses Amaro Averna in place of vermouth, and the addition of orange bitters. The bittersweet chocolate, herbal, caramel, and orange notes makes this cocktail a must try. To make the Black Manhattan, take your mixing glass, add a dash of Angostura bitters, a dash of orange bitters, 1 ounce of Averna Amaro, and 2 ounces of rye whiskey. Then dump in some ice, stir till dilution, and strain into a chilled coupe glass. Garnish with a cherry, and you're done. Like many classic cocktails, the exact origin of the Manhattan is murky. Bartenders make good drinks, but they are poor historians. So I grabbed some books, stole some reading glasses, and turned to the internet for answers. After watching 3 hours of videos that had nothing to do with cocktails at all, I cracked open a book. This book was imbibed by cocktail historian David Wondrich. This book contains some of the earliest recipes for a Manhattan that look a little different than the cocktail that we know and love today. We all have a story about a bartender ruining a traditional cocktail. For instance, I knew a bartender who ended up putting pineapple juice in a Manhattan, which caused all 40 of his coworkers to have to be retrained. Well, some of these early recipes had different ingredients in them, like gum syrup, absinthe, maraschino. Some said to shake the cocktail. One even mentioned serving it frozen, and none of the earlier recipes mentioned anything about garnishes. So I asked myself, have we been making the Manhattan wrong? Well, the guy who was adding pineapple juice definitely was. But the answer to the question is no. Over time, tastes change, ingredients change, and we usually improve. We stir instead of shake so we don't end up with a washed out cocktail. Like if you've ever forgotten about a soda with ice and returned to it 30 minutes later to find a cup of water with soda flavor in it. As for the different ingredients, just try them. You might find a different riff that you like more than the original. Like my personal favorite riff on a Manhattan, the Chuck. To make the Chuck, you'll need Amaro Montenegro, maraschino liqueur, sweet vermouth, and rye whiskey. Take your mixing glass, add a short 1/4 ounce of Montenegro, a short 1/4 ounce of maraschino liqueur, 3/4 ounce of sweet vermouth, and 2 ounces of your rye whiskey. Add ice, then stir till it's perfectly diluted. Strain into a chilled Nick and Nora glass, and then garnish with a cherry. There you have it, the Chuck. It's a riff on a Brooklyn that's a riff on a Manhattan. The floral and fruity notes complement the rye very well. So try something new, have fun, and just have a drink.